Evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We are going to be doing a class on positivity and different insights into happiness and the ways we approach our life. So, I'm bringing from the book called Happier by Tal Ben Shahar, who taught one of the most popular classes ever in Harvard, one of the most highly attended classes about being happy. And he says there's four types of archetypes and people and the way we kind of approach life and work and how we approach play and everything. So the first type is called the rat race archetype. The people who feel that we have to push and everything is for the later goal. It's always for a later goal. And so it's studying for a later goal and working hard for a later goal. And it's always for a reward, so to speak. And when people reach the end of their goal, they feel the relief, but it's only a fleeting short relief because once they feel the relief of attaining their goal, they start feeling that pressure again because they're used to this race. They're used to this process of always needing to chase something. So we obviously don't want to be stuck in and being in the rat race that we feel that we're not enjoying the process of what we're going through and we're just going through the motions to get to our destinations and we're not enjoying the journey. So the next type is called the hedonism archetype. And that's someone who is just seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, satisfying desires, giving little or no thought to future consequences. So this person believes that a fulfilling life is basically pleasurable experiences. Something feels good in the moment, and that's justified. Um, making friendships, but then when the novelty wears off, moving on. And whatever feels good, that they're going for that. And the problem is that we're equating effort with pain and pleasure with happiness. And there's he brings that there was a Twilight Zone, that there was a criminal who was killed while he's running from the police, and he's greeted by an angel who was sent to grant his every wish. And this man, he knows he was a complete criminal. He can't believe he's in heaven, but he's baffled. But he says, okay. He starts to begin to list his desires. He wants a lot of money. He gets it. He wants his favorite food. It's brought to him. He asks for beautiful women. They appear. So it seems that life after death could not be better. However, as time goes by, the pleasure he derives from this continuous indulgence begins to diminish, and the effortlessness of his existence becomes tiresome. So he asks the angel for some work that will challenge him, and he's told that in this place he can get whatever he wants except the chance to work for the things he receives. And so, without any challenges, this criminal becomes increasingly frustrated. And in utter desperation, he says, I want to get out. I want to go to the other place. He thought he was in heaven. He wants to go to hell. So the camera zooms in on the angel as his delicate face turns devious and threatening. And with the ominous laughter of the bad angel, he says, this is the other place. And this is the hell that the hedonist mistakes for heaven. Without a long-term purpose, devoid of challenge, life ceases to feel meaningful to us. We can't find happiness if we exclusively seek pleasure and avoid pain. So, but we all have that part of us, the hedonist, that we think we're always just looking for the pleasure. But we need to realize that sometimes we need to work. Obviously, in life, we need to work hard to achieve good things, and usually good things do require effort. The next archetype on this spectrum is the nihilism archetype, and that's a person who has given up on happiness. They feel resigned to the belief that life has no meaning. So the rat race type is the guy that lives for the future. The hedonism archetype is the state of living for the present. The nihilism archetype is the state of being chained to the past. These people have resigned themselves to their present unhappiness and expect the same sort of life in the future. They're tied to the past failures that when they tried to get happy and it didn't work. So they believe that no, life, there's no chance to be happy. And this attachment to past failures has been described as learned helplessness. And that, you guys may have heard there was dogs that were placed in 3 tests, 3 experimental groups. The dogs in the first group were given electric shocks, which they could turn off by pressing a panel. Dogs in the second group were given shocks that persisted regardless of their action. And the third group of dogs, the control group, received no shocks. All these dogs were later put in boxes where they were given electric shocks, but from which they could easily escape by jumping over a low barrier. The dogs in the first group who had been able to stop the shocks earlier, and the dogs from the third group who had not been previously shocked quickly jumped over right away and escaped. The dogs in the second group who could not prevent the electric shocks earlier made no effort to escape. They simply lay down in the box and whimpered while receiving their shocks. They had learned to be helplessness. This is learned helplessness. And there was experience with people that they were subjected to loud and unpleasant noise. In one group, people were able to control the noise to stop it, whereas people in the second group could not. Later, when both groups were subjected to loud noise that they could have turned off if they had tried, those in the second group did not try. They felt that this was it. And we learn to be helpless. So we have to really work on if we're stuck in that nihilist part where we feel everything is bad and they can't get better, we got to work on getting happy and seeing meaning in life and seeing that there's a purpose and trying to see the meaning in everyday life and being grateful, so to speak. So the last archetype, which we want to work to, is the happiness archetype. And he tells of a student who came to him and said they had a job offer at a firm. It's a really great job. And they had many other job offers from other companies that she probably would have enjoyed those jobs more, but none of them would set her up as well as this one. So she said, at what point could she stop thinking about the future and start being happy? So he answered her, he said, don't ask, should I be happy now or in the future? You should ask, how can I be happy now and in the future? So while present and future benefit may sometimes conflict because some situations demand that we have to choose one for the other, it is possible to enjoy both for much of the time. Students who truly love learning, for instance, derive present benefit from the pleasure they take in discovering new ideas and future benefit from the ways in which those ideas will prepare them for their careers. And in romantic relationships, some couples enjoy their time together and help each other grow and develop. Those who work at something they love, be it business, medicine, or art, can progress in their career while enjoying the journey. So to expect constant happiness is obviously to set ourselves up for failure and disappointment. We know that we can't always be happy, and not everything we do can give us present and future benefit. But sometimes it might be worth it to forego present benefit for greater future gain. And in every life, we have to do some mundane work. So kind of we have to know sometimes we live as a hedonist and we could enjoy things just for the short-term pleasure. We don't want long-term negative consequences, obviously. But when we focus solely on the present, it really rejuvenates us. And in moderation, relaxation, sometimes mindlessness, and the fun that just comes from relaxing, watching a TV show, eating our comfort foods can really make us happier. Because the rat racer's illusion is that reaching some future destination will bring him lasting happiness. He doesn't recognize the significance of the journey. The hedonist illusion is that only the journey is important. The nihilist has given up on both the destination and the journey, is disillusioned with life. And the rat racer becomes a slave to the future, the hedonist a slave to the moment, and nihilist is the slave to the past. So attaining lasting happiness requires that we enjoy the journey on our way toward a destination that we feel is valuable. Happiness isn't about making it to the peak of the mountain, nor is it about climbing aimlessly around the mountain. Happiness is the experience of climbing toward the peak. So, wanted to just there's a beautiful quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. It matters what's in us." And there was a famous teacher, her name is Marva Collins. She was a school teacher in the inner city of Chicago, one of the worst places, crime and drugs, and there was very little hope and optimism there. Great problems, and many educators had very little faith that their students would be able to escape this hopeless situation that was passed from one generation down to the other. So in 1975, this lady Marva Collins founded the West Side Preparatory School for Children in her neighborhood. Many of these students had been rejected from other schools for bad behavior or for their inability, for one reason or another, to integrate into the school system. This was their last chance before the street. So at this school, Westside, these same children who were once labeled unteachable learned to read Shakespeare, Emerson, and Euripides by the fourth grade. The children were once written off as irredeemable failures ended up going to college. They internalized her students internalized her vision that each and every student has the potential to succeed. They developed confidence in themselves and were able to imagine and realize a more hopeful future. She founded her school with very little money. She used her house as a classroom. For the next 20 years, she continued to struggle financially and was often on the verge of closure. Today, there are Marva Collins schools in several states. Educators from all over the world come to Chicago to meet with her, learn her methods, and be inspired by her. Her experience gives us an insight into the implications of recognizing happiness as the ultimate end. She says that when in the company of people who run multi-billion-dollar corporations who have amassed fortunes, she asks herself time and again why she wants to be a teacher. She finds an answer as she reflects on one of her students. Tiffany was a child considered autistic, who had not spoken, who had been told by the experts that she was an unlovable and unteachable child. And one day, after much patience, prayers, love, and determinations, Tiffany's first words to me were, "I love you, Mrs. Allens." The consonant C was left off, but I realized that the tears that flowed with Tiffany's declarations made me the wealthiest woman in the world. Today, to see Tiffany writing her numerals, beginning to read single words, talking, and most of all, to see that glee in her eyes that says, "I too am special. I too can learn." This to me is worth all of the gold in Fort Knox. Of another student whose life was transformed by her school, Collins writes, "It is worth all the sleepless nights wondering how I'm going to balance our deficits to see the glow in his eyes that will one day light the world." She was offered in the 80s the Reagan and Bush administration's office of the post of Secretary of Education and all the honor and prestige that would have brought her, but she loved to teach and she believed that she could make the most significant difference in the classroom. Teaching is what gave her life meaning that she believed no other profession could give her. Teaching gave her the emotional gratification that no amount of money could buy. She felt she was the wealthiest woman in the world. And as we said, all her experiences as a teacher were worth more to her than all of the gold in Fort Knox, because happiness, not gold or prestige, is the ultimate currency. So we could ask ourselves a question: what for us is worth all of the gold in Fort Knox? And happiness is the ultimate currency. I'm going to move on to a book which is written by our own wonderful Joe Samuels. He's a wonderful member of our congregation. He's such a lovely man. We love him so dearly. This book is called Beyond the Rivers of Babylon. I just finished the book. It's a fantastic, fantastic book. Very inspiring. It's this is Joe Samuels, as you see him down there, sweetest man. And he wrote this book recently. It came. I'm gonna hold it like this. You see the side, Beyond the Rivers of Babylon, and he speaks about his early life in Iraq and the life there. It's beautiful to read about it. And then he went to Israel, and really how he always was creating meaning in his life and maturing and one of the greatest questions he asked himself, and he brings it in the book, is at difficult times in his life when he felt sad and why did he have to go through suffering and bad times, and he, when we asked ourselves the question, why me, why did this happen to me, he learned to flip the question, why am I so lucky, why did I have so many blessings in my life, why did I get such great friends and family. And by flipping the question, you immediately, by moving into gratitude, we immediately change our mood and change our state and move into a higher level of energy. And that's what helps us to overcome our challenges and to face what we need to face and succeed in the eye of the eye of the storm of what we're facing. This gratefulness and framing the questions we're asking ourselves, what, because our mind is always talking and making up statements and stories. So if we change our story for the positive and see things in a better light, that has an effect in our life. And that slight shift, even though you might not feel it right away in your life that things are changing, by moving in that slight shift, you're moving in that more positive direction, and you're moving towards the destination of where you want to go and where you truly want to be. And it's a day-to-day effort to get to where we want to go. And the Torah says, "Im tazmeni yom yomayim azveka." If you leave me one day, I leave you 2 days. Because when we're going in a destination and we went back for one day, it's not just one day, it's now 2 days, because it's the one day that I was traveling, now it's another day, now it's 2 days of missed traveling, so to speak. So let's keep going. Don't give up. Face the challenges and work on our joy and our gratitude. And God bless you all and have a great night. And I look forward to seeing you soon.